Hello again. Yeah, I've been thinking about this concept of where do we go from here? Uh, Spirituality in a post-coronavirus C-19 experience world. Interesting one, all right. Now, you would think that there would be a massive rush towards Christianity in countries like Ireland and even the UK, or a rush towards the mainstream churches in America and stuff. Well, it hasn't been really. There's two reasons for this. One, uh, organized Christianity is dead. It's finished. The big time Christianity is finished. It's over. It's been replaced by worshipping the government and the state. So bureaucracy is your new god, and that's always what the elites or the globalists have always wanted for the longest time. That the one world religion would be government, things like the United Nations and stuff like that, not bureaucracy, not like as the truthers think worshipping the Jehovah truthers think was worshipping Lucifer and all this kind of thing. That'd be a good thing if they did. But yeah, the changes is coming. There's just like celebrities are finished in a post C-19 world. The glamoury of religion is done as well. These mega churches are probably, a lot of them are going to fold. In America, the Vatican will scale down things. You have people at home who are still devout religious people, if they're all their persuasions, getting masses and seders and stuff said over, services said over the internet. So there's already been that disconnection. Like so many things, this agenda has been to disconnect us from the routine. And for many people who still go to mass in church, that's just a form of OCD. And that's been replaced now by the Church of Corona, the washing of hands, the downing of the vestments, the sacred vestments, waiting for the word of the clerics to tell you. You have the rituals of stepping into the square and waiting for the next square. You have the confessional boxes where you talk about how you didn't do the right thing to stop the virus today. So that's all replaced all that. So them, the majority of them, they're now worshipping the one world religion of bureaucracy and government. Now the rest of us, who are not like that, because well, for starters, one of the things I've noticed is that all the neo-pagans have vanished off social media. They're gone. You'd have all these, witchy poo, Wiccan memes, with pictures of what's her name, Stevie Nicks, saying, "I have magic powers." It all seems to have vanished. They're gone. It's weird, and the same, so I think that whole neo-paganism thing is, that, well, it's just like druids, right? Anyone who calls himself a druid today is basically an Anglican minister, except for I know one or two people in Ireland who are trying to resurrect Celtic druidry, but they're sincere because they're trying to develop something from the the best way they can, from what not is known from the what's left of the records, and in the Irish records there's a substantial amount left. The other ones you see, like these druids, you see it's Avebury and Stonehenge. They're just all cosplay, frustrated Anglican ministers. Lots of them ex-Jehovah's Witnesses as well. And when I had a look into that world, all I saw was a bunch of like left-wing assholes and sex cases, and I wouldn't waste your time with them. They're all finished as well, and the so that's the neo-pagan, neo-druidry, Wiccan thing. That's all done for. It's finished. They'll return to where they came from, Christianity. They'll go back to being Jehovah's Witnesses or some other Christian thing as well. A lot of them have, a lot of them are. I saw that, like, I watched that scene die in the last 2 years. It just went from people who were just interested in folk magic or Wicca or whatever, ancient sites, and it suddenly became like the Fortean scene became polluted with SJWs and many hardcore Marxists, and all huge, most of them suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, and that kind of thing. Extreme, Corbynites and all this stuff, and it was just like I left so many of those groups, just because they were full and the same bullying tactics that we're seeing now. See, the left love to bully. This is why the left is loving the C-19 thing, because they're getting everything they want: lockdowns, controls, lack of freedom, lack of basic rights, destruction of capitalism. And I saw all that happening on these neo-pagan and neo-druidic groups. They were all the same. They're all the same kind of people, and on the 14 groups as well. And it was just like the hippies and the the punks, the people who used to be anti-establishment, are now its most vicious freebooters, defending establishment, and so that went the same way. So that was, I knew that was dying for a long time. A long time I knew that was dying, and so that's gone. As regards paganism as a whole, I think we're going to see a new kind of thing. I think we're going to see a respect for folk Catholicism. I think that we're going to see, the cults like the cult of St. Bridget and stuff like that, and even St. Winifred. And you're going to see that come back big time, where people won't necessarily believe in the Vatican or care so much about Jesus Christ and the Middle East. They'll be more devoted to local Catholic saints, who are probably nearly always based on pagan goddesses, such like Saint Winifred, and well, we don't, well, maybe Saint Winifred, but definitely Breed, and so on. And that will be a very healthy thing, because that will bring us very close back to the classical paganism, of this age. Past ages will come into this age in a different way. I think that's going to be a big thing. But I think mainly you're going to have like hybridization, like the way I call myself a Luciferian pagan. Okay, now I'm Irish, although I do have some Iberian DNA, but I'm Irish. My DNA is predominantly Northern European, Celtic, and Anglo-Saxon, and with a little bit of Iberian, and I and some French, but that'd be Viking as well, probably Normans. And I'm, I honor my pagan ancestors and my pagan spiritual indigenous path, but I also relate to other forms of Indo-European paganism and Hinduism. So, but I'm not any of those things. I like the concept of Lucifer. I like the concept of his sister Diana. I like what they represent. I like the representations of certain deities within Hinduism, such as Shukra and Kali. And that's where it is for me. And there's other things and other traditions I'll pull in as well. And I'm not adverse to, as you see in my film on St. Winifred's Well in Wales, I'm not adverse to folk Christianity either, folk Catholicism either. So I think you're going to see a lot of that kind of thing. And you're going to see a big rise in things like astrology and divination, tarot, and all that kind of thing. And also other things like divining and land mysteries and landscape, sacred mysteries, landscape mysteries, and all that kind of thing. Geomancy, environomicon, and so on. And people will be looking for deeper meanings between connective forces, and the heralding of this new spiritual identity, it will be the cosmic changes taking above in the sky above us now. In a sense, to be, well, what the hell has a few asteroids and a comet? It's got everything to do with it, because deep inside you, the same ancient codes that were unlocked by your ancient ancestors, seeing profound meaning in cosmological changes or occurrences in the sky, they still exist within you. They're still part of you. And they're constant reminders, they're oracles in many ways to other realms beyond human ability to get there. And this wonderment will transcend more black and white prosaic issues in people, and they will seek to expand their consciousness and their nervous system outwardly. So you're going to see a great affinity with things like chi, prana, these kinds of these energies of the body. This would be a big thing. This would be a huge thing, I think, because people are now feeling. Now, someone said the other day, if you had to switch off the TV to develop your magical abilities, well, then you're in a bad way. That's absolutely true. Many people are, though. But there's some people who can do it without with the TV on. But it helps not. The silence and this gap of the lockdown helping people go internally. They're going into themselves, but they're also at the same time fascinated by this comet Atlas and the earth changes with the volcanoes and everything. So there's a kind of a natural paganism, animism coming back into a lot of people in a very healthy way, even if they're Christians and so on. And this is coming in a very nice kind of way. Excuse me. And I had something for breakfast that's just contributing on me. But it was muesli, and it's it's coming into people's minds. It's coming into them. They're thinking. They're seeing themselves as a bigger thing, and they're fascinated by these cosmological changes going on at the moment. These and the geological changes. So they're fusing the sky, earth, soul together. So they're becoming animistic pagans without any formality. Having to abide by some formal system. And this is really good. And this is really good news for the future. And it'll be mostly private. You won't get many leaders of these groups, and so on. It'll be a spirituality of inspiration and personal connectivity, and it won't be a spirituality of mass brainwashing like we've had in the past. Like I said, the mainstream religions have given up their power to the state, which is ultimately all worshipping the main god at the moment, which is the coronavirus. This is the most powerful god in the universe, is the coronavirus, and many people are using it in their magical rituals and their magical workings, especially if they're involved in chaos. And what more powerful god could you evoke? The Pope, the Muslims, the President of the United States are all bowing before its power, and therefore that's a power source we can use for now. But it's a destructive power force. It's a Leviathan type phenomenon, and when it passes through, what will be left will be the normies and the sheeple worshipping bureaucracy. Like I said, the NHS in England, like when talk about is the secular state religion of the UK, and in Ireland it's government, the people who worship the government as gods, and they will allow them to do anything to them, even fly UN flags on our basically what was our Independence Day, instead of Irish flags, and so they're all gone to worship government. What's left for us is personal, and very beautiful. I'm looking right across now. Like I said, that experience I had where the field behind my gaff, the bog behind my gaff, it started to talk to me. And at first I thought, is there a presence here? No, it was me connecting with the geomancy, the environomicon of the landscape. And I think that's the future of our spirituality going forward. It'll be quite different, and it'll probably we'll be like the shamans in communist Russia. You see, like as soon as the communists took over Russia, one of the first after they executed anyone that was in the way, and their own people as well, they went after shamans, and they made cartoons and all kinds of things attacking the shamans in Siberia, but still pagans remained in the Soviet Union practicing and ignoring the 5-year plans and the Politburo and the Duma and all this stuff. And guess what? That's our future too. And what a beautiful future it'll be.